Eyes on destructive marriages, or you're in one, that it's ungodly. You might say, well, my experience with marriage is awesome. It's been fantastic. I talked to a pastor in Orange County, and we were talking about the book Lisa and I wrote. And he said, man, I'm just loving this. And he said, it's amazing. I kind of leaned a little bit more toward Lisa's side, he said, because I grew up in an amazing Christian home. And I said, well, you know, obviously you read the book. I did not on my side. She did. And he said, in fact, listen. And he goes, my mom and dad, I saw them praying on their knees every day of my life. My grandma and grandpa, I saw them praying all the time. My great-grandpa, I got to see him a few times. All the Christians, amazing people of God. I said, dude, you're amazing. Let me touch you. I mean, that's awesome. Did you know if it was left up to God, that would be the norm? So you young people tonight, don't divorce yourself from marriage or the concept of it because all you look around to see is failure. You keep your eyes on God, and God will transform or give you a great marriage. He made it. He doesn't make junk. We goof things up. The prodigal rejects authority. Without God as our authority, we will seek some form of authority. Isn't it weird? Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Genesis 3:1 says, now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. So that's why Satan possesses it. Isn't it freaky weird? Satan gets inside of it. Eesh. And he said to the woman, listen to this. Has God indeed said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Sowing seeds of doubt, ladies and gentlemen. Mark that. And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat of the tree of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the tree of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. Then the serpent said to the woman, you shall not surely die. False doctrine. Number one, sow doubt. Number two, false doctrine. Verse 5. For God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, undermining authority, knowing good and evil. So when the woman saw, see, she looks at it differently now, right? So when the woman saw, she takes another look at the tree, that it was good for food. That's the flesh. Now she's thinking, flesh. That it was pleasant to the eyes, lust. And a tree desirable to make one wise, pride. She took of its fruit and ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Wow. Rejecting authority. Listen, you cannot reject authority without getting in trouble. It's a law of God. You go out here and run around on the freeway, you're rejecting authority, you're going to get hurt. You go driving down the street 100 miles an hour, you're rejecting authority, you're going to get hurt. God says this is the way that it is. And we'll either acquiesce or submit to his authority or to our own. It's amazing. The prodigal son had a problem with authority. Secondly, look at verses 13 and 14. The prodigal son makes the wrong decisions. This is the next manifestation. When once you begin to reject authority, you start making ridiculous decisions. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and journeyed to a far country, and there wasted his possessions with extravagant, lavish, prodigal living. But when he had spent all, there arose a severe famine in the land. Listen, famines come and go. They come from droughts. We're in one right now, right here. He should have been ready, but he wasn't. There arose a severe famine in the land, and he began to be in want. So we ask this question, what is the child thinking about when he departs? Watch this. I can do it my way. I'm out of here. I'm rejecting your authority, and I'm in the midst of making really stupid decisions. And they launch out, and they're going to go cut a path for themselves, and they have no ability, they have no craft, they have no skills, they don't know anybody, and they wind up sleeping at their friend's house for a month, right? And then they get sick of him, or her, and they wind up putting her out on the street, and then she's wandering or he's wandering around, and this stuff begins to unfold. And listen, this is a tough thing. Are you guys sitting down? Are you listening? This is tough. Imagine now, we're talking about a 22, 25-year-old person, 18-year-old person. And you don't tell me what to do. And your friends' parents, you don't tell me what to do. And then they're fighting with their friends. And everything begins to fall apart. Does this sound familiar? Everything begins to deteriorate around them. And the first action for the parent is one, most often, they need to resist. There'll be a message on the phone. Mom, this is Goober, and I could sure use a couple of bucks. And, kind of miss you, Dad.